Good evening, everyone. We are continuing our little mini Wizard of Oz retrospective. We've done all of this in aid of the movie that's coming out next week, Wicked Part 2, which I keep wanting to call it Wicked Part 2. It doesn't help that this movie is also called Wicked Part 1. But anyway, Wicked for Good, which comes out next week. We've got our tickets booked. Dude, that's going to be like the straightest best mate date ever, isn't it? When we rock up to that cinema. 2 tickets for Wicked for Good, please.
I
Oh,
know.
it's going to be great. It's going to be wonderful. But
And the thing is, we'll probably be the oldest people there. They'll all be like little kids as
I
well.
know. Oh god, it's going to be awful. But I had no business going to see Wicked for Good next week without having seen the first part, Wicked, and I kept saying like I feel like I'm the only human on the planet that has gone almost a full calendar year since this film came out. We're not seeing it. I watched this for the first time this morning in preparation for this review. Almost 3 hours of it. I went in prepared knowing it was going to be, I thought, a bit of a slog. 3 hours is definitely up there in terms of runtime, especially for a musical like this. And also being the first act of a musical, which is kind of blows my mind. Yeah.
It was such a weird choice for how long it was. I think the musical was 3 hours.
With intermission. So 2.5 hours with half-hour intermission. Yeah. And that's for the whole story of Wicked.
Yeah. It was a weird I haven't seen the musical for I did go to see it when I was 10, 11, something like that. I don't remember it, and I don't remember I remember bits of it. I don't remember the ins and outs, so I couldn't tell you from memory what has changed or what was what was added or blah 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 blah. But I think a lot of like the flashback stuff, like anything set before was sort of added to this. But I think that's also more to do with part 2. I feel like part 2 is going to be the bit that has more added. I think that's got some flashbacks. I think that's the one that's got stuff added uniquely for the movie.
Mm-hmm.
So that one's a bit different in comparison. But it's because I think you said it as well. There's not a lot you could take out that you think, oh, that could be done without this. But yeah, it was a very long movie.
It was, but you know what? I actually kind of had a blast with this. I don't know if I'd ever go out of my way to watch it again. I will say that, but for what it was, lavish production, really good, acting and vocal talents for what it was. I thought, the CGI was great, but also the practical sets. Yeah, I was actually kind of taken in by this film. Now, I will say I've never seen the stage musical, so all of this was pretty much brand new to me. I think the extent of my Wicked knowledge began and ended at Defying Gravity. That's really all it was. I think you have read the book, though, right? You've read the Wicked.
No, I've not. No, I've not.
Oh, you haven't. Okay.
I read a synopsis of the book, and it's I feel like the book ends differently because this is very sort of like, obviously this is a whole thing of like, that cliche shit telling where you take an evil character and you go, yeah, but they're misunderstood, here's a backstory, blah blah blah, and it's just that, which is just not for me. Like, I mean, I understand. I think the movie was fine. I think it had that great choreography stage show about it, which, like we always said, Wizard of Oz is that whole stage production, which I think it captured that, and I think it did well. But it was just this big over the top musical, which the musical itself was kind of the same, but for a movie, like when I saw it, I remember thinking, like this is good. But I don't love musicals, and it was just a so in-your-face musical that was so, to me, just like, I mean, if you love musicals, you love musicals, and I think if you love musicals, you will really enjoy it. It's done very, very well. But to me, it was just so, like, it didn't feel very like, if you're not keen on musicals, it felt very like, yeah, but it's ain't for you. Not a whole like, you might not like musicals, but you like Wizard of Oz, you might like this. It was just like, no, it's just a musical.
Yeah.
And I think that is kind of a weakness, because it kind of, I say a weakness because what it does well. But the thing is, it doesn't leave much to be like, yeah, but it's got something for everyone. It just is like, well, if you don't like musicals, you don't like it. black and white, which is, in some ways, it was a bit of a downfall, because I did leave with a mixed review thinking, yeah, it's good. I can see why people like it. I don't know if it's for me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think I don't even know if I can be mad at the film about that, though, because it's, like, play to your audience. Who is the audience for
Yeah,
this?
exactly.
It's
That's the
people
thing.
who love the musical,
It
and,
is
and
what it
and it's
is.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, I think the thing that, again, like you say, you can't be mad at the thing for being good at what it is. It's just, I think the issue is a lot of things, whether it isn't a musical, whether it be a horror, whether it like, they've all got their elements, but there's kind of something in it for everyone to an extent, where it's like, you might not like it and you go, yeah, but you know what, I really like this character. Issue with this, it was just so, the characters were, again, performed well. They just were not the characters we know.
So yeah, this is interesting because this film is obviously an adaptation of the 2003 stage musical, which itself is an adaptation of a book by Gregory Maguire from 1995, which itself is a reimagining of L. Frank Baum's, Wizard of Oz book from when did that come out? It was the 1900s or something, I think, wasn't it? Or 1900, bang on the bang on the dot. So it's like Russian dolls of adaptations, but I actually really like musicals. Now, I'm very selective with the musicals that I like. I'm not going to. I can't remember the last time that I went to like the West End or something like that. I think it was when I went to see Aladdin, actually, which would have been about 7 or so years ago now. Anyway, I'm not always in London watching shows. Maybe I should, because the talent that goes into them, the vocal talent, the musical stuff. I can always appreciate a good musical score, like the genius that goes into writing all of that manuscript, that sheet music, and evoking those emotions. I did actually listen to the soundtrack of Wicked before even watching this film. This was like a few weeks ago, and granted, I'm missing all of the story beats, so I was missing all of that connective tissue. So I actually like that I actually got to watch and take in the whole story today with the film. I know they've added bits to it that isn't in the stage show, because when I was just listening to the music from the stage show, I was completely lost. I had no context for anything. And this might be quite controversial to say, and people are going to be like typing their hate comments now. Personally, and I stand by this, I think it's a musical that's held up on the shoulders of one song, and that one song is Defying Gravity, which is a phenomenally written song. And there's some catchy ones, like Popular, stuff like that. But
yeah, it's the memorable song that you don't, because you can come away from things like Aladdin, again, it's like that, where you come away with songs like Prince Ali. You come away with multiple different songs from it, like you and different segments as well. So like One Jump. I was going to call it One Step for a minute, but yeah, One Jump. Like, as I say, that's like another song, but also the segment in itself, because that was always my favorite. I love that. And that was the thing is, this isn't an Aladdin review, but that was always my favorite song from that movie from the get-go, because of the segment of the movie as well. When it got to like Prince Ali and all that, like, that wasn't my first watch. I wasn't left being like, oh, Prince Ali. It was One Jump because of what was happening, and because of the song. And then I'd rewatch and be like, oh, and then there's this. It felt like every time I watched it, a new song would take over. Oh, this is my favorite this time. This is my favorite. Whereas this, I think the one with the segment and the song is Defying Gravity. And then I think Popular does have that, for more reasons than Ariana Grande doing her thing. But like, I think, there is that, but it just kind of holds up on those two. It's a very sort of, everything else kind of like falls to the wayside a little bit.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. And, unsurprisingly, Defying Gravity by design is the curtain call song. It closes out Act 1 as it does this film. And the whole time you're watching the film, if you have any kind of idea about the score or the music or the soundtrack or the musical itself, you're kind of waiting for Defying Gravity the whole time. You're waiting for that big moment. And, for the movie, they make it even more epic. And there's like this daring hot air balloon escape, and it explodes, and you got flying monkeys flying everywhere. And I don't know, maybe that shit's in the stage show. I don't think so. I was watching it the whole time and I was thinking, you've split this into 2 films. You kind of need to ramp up to some kind of action climax in terms of a movie medium. You need to sort of, up the stakes, up the action and everything like that. So yeah, like the musical numbers are fine. They're performed well. I thought the choreography and everything like that, the actual cinematography, the way just how many sets they built as well. My eyes were kind of like all over the frame, like looking in the background, and they did build a lot of stuff in this. Like the sets are incredible. You've got the sort of like the university campus where they're at, and then there's that sort of like ballroom thing that they go to where they have like the dance off or whatever it is, all the way to the Emerald City. It looks great. It's so colorful and bright, and I think this did actually win a couple of Oscars. It was nominated for 10, including Best Picture, but it only won 2. It won Best Costume Design and Best Production Design. I can't remember what other films were nominated from that year for Best Production Design, but I think this was a worthy winner because it looked incredible. Like that's what I'd heard from a few reviews beforehand was, even if musicals aren't your thing, this film feels like a spectacle. It feels like those big, lavish, old school musical productions. Granted, there is more digital stuff in there, of course, but I didn't feel like that got in the way. We talked about last week with the Sam Raimi one, how some of the effects were a little bit ropey and it kind of got in the way. I thought it was a perfect blend in this one between digital and the stuff that they built, the costumes and, like the lavish sets and whatnot.
Yeah, it was very well done. I don't think there's an element to it that fails in what it was attempting to do, because that would be kind of like saying it's a perfect movie, and that's a very tall thing to say, But like I think everything it tries to do, it does well, because it obviously went for that whole this needs to be a big thing, even when you look at the colors in like the posters and everything, how everything pops out. Everything went with this needs to be big. This needs to be a larger than life thing. You need to go, because I think the thing they wanted to do, which is the thing they did really well at capturing, is when you see the stage show, obviously you're seeing a stage show, you're seeing a musical, set pieces are moving, blah, and they captured that on film and did very, very well. It felt very like, which again is in keeping with the whole Wizard of Oz stuff, because you go to see Wizard of Oz and you see set pieces, you see it feels like, and the 1939 film, 39, yes
39.
I always
39.
get it confused with Snow White.
Yeah, that was 37, wasn't it? That was 2 years before.
But 1939 film, the original, it captures so well being a stage production, and that was very of its time in the sense of like, when the witch goes under the trapdoor and you see this, like she walks over to it like you would in a stage musical. It would be, I need to go over here because I need to go to my trapdoor, which is what you do. Whereas now you wouldn't have that. It would just kind of happen in a thing. And I think this captured that original sort of element that they went for, which was really, really great. So it did feel in keeping with it. It didn't feel out of place. It didn't feel very like, this isn't the same thing. That being said, every single character did feel like that, though. Not because they did badly, not because of anything like that, but just the characters were nothing like the characters we know.
From the original movie, are you talking about?
Yes. It was just, I mean, Glinda is not some popular blonde-haired bimbo. It's not, do you know what I mean? That is not her character. It was so... Thing is, I've not read all the Wizard. I don't know. People could tell me like, "Oh, this is what happened," which I very highly doubt. But you know what I mean. But the point is, like, they're not the characters we know. The witch is an evil witch who is like she's just evil. She's just an evil witch. The whole point was some witches are good, some witches are bad. That is it. The north and the south are good. The east and the west are bad. That's essentially it. And this was like, we're going to give a backstory to her. She's going to be born and oppressed, and people are going to hate her because she's got green skin and all that kind of thing. And it just turned these characters into something that they're not. And that's one issue. But I think what it tried to capture, it was good. And that was the issue. Not the issue, but when I came away from this movie, I thought, you know what? Everything it wanted to achieve, it did. I was just very sort of like, I don't know how I feel about them changing the characters into these people.
Well, again, I don't think that's a fault of the film itself.
Yeah,
You could trace that shit back to the book or the musical or whatever. Like, this exists in a vacuum as its own thing, meant to be this sort of pseudo prequel to the original Wizard of Oz, but it's kind of doing it. So it feels like a fan fiction. I think I said this to you.
Oh,
Like,
yeah,
it feels like a Wizard of Oz fan fiction, which
yes.
just got mad successful. I think what is it? Is it like one of the? Is it like the fourth most successful longest running shows on the West End, Broadway, or
Isn't it
whatnot?
technically a fan fiction though? Because it isn't by the original author anyway. It basically is.
Yeah,
I know it's in
yeah.
public domain and we can do that, but it is a fan fiction when you think about it.
We've got a few comments here from Carl I just wanted to bring up. He says, "Evening, guys. I had a strange experience with Wicked. Went to see it on a date, and half an hour in, I really didn't like it. By the end, it really won me over, and I thought the songs were great." He also recommends the Back to the Future musical, if you get a chance to see it. I'm always very cagey with things like that, where they'll just take a random film from the 80s or whatever.
Okay.
They've done the same with Beetlejuice. It's like Beetlejuice, the musical. Like fucking Back to the Future, the musical, and what are they going to be doing? Like singing about a
Only Fools and Horses, the musical.
yeah, it's just that they'll take a property and just make a musical out of it. And I'm like, well, you're going to be singing about like a fucking DeLorean or something in Back to the Future.
It's like, you've not seen Hot Fuzz, but in Hot Fuzz there's a whole segment where they go to this play of Romeo and Juliet. And they just randomly at the end, Juliet pulls out a gun and shoots herself in the head, and then they just start singing and dancing, and it's like, like it's so like that. And I feel like they do that with things. It felt very, obviously it was humorous, but it also felt very like, you know what, this is actually a thing that happens.
It's like you've seen Phoenix Nights, Peter Kay, how they do Karate Kid the musical, which I actually saw on Facebook. They are actually doing an actual Karate Kid musical now. So I'm like, oh my god, it's one of those things. You'll go to London and you'll be like going down to the underground, and you'll be on the escalators, and there's posters of like all shows and everything that they've got on there. And every time you go to London, there's a brand new show on, and it, as I say, it's like Random Film the musical. I think, how have you made a fucking musical out of that? In all fairness, though, Carl, I have heard great things about Back to the Future, the musical. So I might check it out.
They made Death Note, the musical.
Did they?
That was an interesting. I've not seen it. I would love to watch it. Or I might one day on. It's going to be on YouTube. I might one day watch the thing. But there's. Do you know what? There are a couple of songs. I'm like, that's actually all right. But it's just great because it was just one of those things, like you said, it's just like, I don't know how they did that. And some things are funny in that way. Like that was one of the things I was just like, you know what, the fact that exists, I need to listen to these songs. It's just weird. Like, and sometimes that's just the fun in it, really, isn't it?
I went to see Lord of the Rings the musical back in the day. That was on Drury Lane. That was a thing. It was a very short-lived thing at the time. Anyway, it was the most expensive production for any kind of West End show in the history of shows.
My Precious, and he sings.
Gollum does get a musical number, I think. It was the staging was actually amazing. I don't want to turn this into a Lord of the Rings the musical review, but they had this revolving and rising and falling stage like that went up in different layers for all the set pieces. It was really good. I mean, they had to take the story of the Lord of the Rings and condense it down to like a single 3-hour offering. So a lot of stuff got merged and condensed, and the music wasn't great. Some of the music in it is brilliant, but it just didn't have that staying power, and it didn't get asses in seats. So it was very, very short-lived, and then it was, swiftly cancelled. Anyway, Carl also says, I did find the underlying, this is back to Wicked now, I did find the underlying message of you have different skin color, so you're evil a bit overbearing. Yes, I mean, it's not so much as in the subtext, is it? It's just the most overt thing all the way through it. I mean, is that to do with like certain casting choices, shall I say, or it's there? It's by design. I think it's there, definitely. I don't know if that's really pushed in the musical version, like the stage show version. I've no idea. To be honest, I'm amazed at how good this film turned out, because this film was beset by so many delays, so many complications. There's been various different versions, that they've been trying to get a film version of this musical out for ages, it seems, and just pushing release dates back constantly. There was delays due to COVID. which impacted the release date of this. And then also during the filming, there was the 2023 SAG-AFTRA strikes where all the actors went on strike and they had to just close down production. And I think that was between July and January, I think, of that. So it was a considerable amount of time for the production. But no, I think it's incredible. I just hope that Wicked for Good is just as good. I'm hoping that it doesn't feel like the most padded one. You know how you get that sometimes where they'll take a single book and split it into two, or in the case of The Hobbit, they'll split it into three. And you're like, you can feel how dragged out this is. And another film that I always go for an example is, I don't know if you've watched the Hunger Games movies, but you have Mockingjay Part 1 and Part 2. And this was like back in the hype where, you know, you had Deathly Hallows Part 1 and 2, you had Twilight, what was it, Breaking Dawn or whatever it is, Part 1 and Part 2.
What was that era when like they did that with everything? The last book had to be in two parts. Like we can't skip anything, and it's that formula, wasn't it?
And then it was always Part 1 would be this very drawn out, lengthy, verbose film that's a little bit dull. And then the second movie would just be straight action. And it's like, well, if you trim like half of that verbose intro and trim half of the action and knit it together, boom, you have a single film that you could do. And then, you know, not going... Yeah.
The thing that annoyed me with the Harry Potter one especially was it was... I mean, I've not read the Hunger Games books. I've watched the movies, and I did love the movies. I've not read the books, so I can't really comment. But the issue with Harry Potter was Part 2 of Deathly Hallows was the shortest movie, and it was like, if you wanted to split it into two, surely they should both be quite long. It was weird, and it was a big battle, and it's like we only got 2 hours there. Like you could have done like a 2 hour and 45-minute movie and had of battle if you're splitting into two parts, and do 2 hours and 45 minutes the first half, and they didn't, and it really upset me because they fucked about with the deaths. But anyway,
I think some things can be justified in two parts. I was actually reading a little bit about the decision behind making this two parts, because as I say, I have no frame of reference here, so I am very interested to hear from people that maybe have seen the musical, how you can take a story that is 2.5 hours long and split that into essentially 6 hours. Like, what are you adding? And from what I've seen from the stuff that gets changed between the stage show and at least this first part of the film, it's not massive. It feels like a lot of the changes are done pretty well. It fleshes some of the characters out. It gives a little bit more substance to why characters arrive at certain decisions. I think Elphaba's sort of relationship with Fiyero, I've heard from people, is handled much better in the actual movie version, because they plant the seeds for it much early on, and they sort of like let that naturally develop, whereas maybe it happens quite randomly in the stage show.
Yeah, I think movies do a better job at placing hints. It's like books as well. They do a very good job, but they place little hints here and there. And you only sort of... Well, I mean, okay, this is a bit of a different sort of thing, but it's placing those hints where they only run a next watch or next read. You go, oh, okay, yeah, they were kind of leading up to it. Say a bit of a different thing, because this wasn't, a hinted at sort of like, you don't really know, but it was just planting seeds, like you say. Was I think musicals, they're a little bit more matter of fact, and things happen and you see them.
Yeah, and I think probably a lot of the backstory is told just through dialogue or whatever on a stage show, because you can't really show it. I mean, you could have people that run out on stage and go like this is a flashback, but a movie's much more visual, and we can actually see those flashback scenes now. And I think they fleshed that out too. There's some characters that are brand new for this film. Like, I think I messaged you earlier when I was watching the film. I said, why is there a giant fucking talking bear that's like the nanny of young Elphaba? And that was a character that was created especially for the film in an attempt to show her connection to animals, because she wants to protect them, she wants to set them free. I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, okay. I mean, we could just go with the fact that, you know, she's an empathetic person with a kind heart, and just animals are really nice and she wants to help them. But having her be essentially raised by an animal, by a bear, I'm like, okay, well, she has this stronger connection to animals maybe than some of her other classmates would. And then I think a lot of that sort of like animal conflict is bigged up and given a little bit more importance in the film, maybe. So all of these decisions, I'm looking at them thinking like, yeah, okay, I can, if you want to flesh it out a little bit more, spend a little bit of time with it, this isn't a bad decision. And to be honest, maybe splitting it into 2 parts, we'll discover this next week. Maybe it was the better move for it. Because the director mentions here, talking about that decision of split it into 2 parts, and says, quote, as we prepared the production over the last year, it became impossible to wrestle the story of Wicked into a single film without doing some real damage to it. As we tried to cut songs or trim characters, those decisions began to feel like fatal compromises to the source material that has entertained us all for so many years.
I think
we just and then he just says that we wanted to give it a bigger canvas and create some more depth and space, so the natural decision was to split it into 2.
Yeah, I think one issue you've got is you've got the whole, you either make a 4.5-hour movie or you go with 2.5-hour movies where it becomes much longer. I mean, technically it's only half an hour long, but you know what I mean? You either get 2 longer movies or you, well, no, like you get either 2 decent sized movies or you get 1 quite long movie.
Yeah.
And I think like any 4-hour movie, like no movies reach 4 hours, even like, Lord of the Rings being, 4 hours and 10, like that's the extended version. You don't have they're not
Kill Bill's another example now.
Yeah. Like, you know what I mean? It's, like they're released in certain ways and, like Kill Bill, you're going to have like, when it's released in the cinema, it's released for a length where casual moviegoers will watch it. Like Lord of the Rings, it's a longer one. I think the theatrical is 3 hours.
It's still pretty up there, yeah, in terms of runtime.
It is, but Lord of the Rings is a certain fan base where you know what you're getting into. But still, casual moviegoers will look at it and at the end of it go, "Fucking hell, that was long." Not like I'm going home. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, that's the difference. And I think it probably handled it well in the sense of I mean, I don't know, but I feel like they probably looked at it, did something where they're like, this is good. And they were like, she's 4 hours and 10. They were like, do you know what? Should we just do 2 hours, round out to about 5, 2 hours, 2 movies, round out to about 5. And they probably thought that was a better move, which, I personally think part 2 is going to be more fleshed out than this. I think it's going to have a bit more filler.
Yeah, I actually can't remember any of the songs from the second half. As I said, like I only kind of remember Popular and Defying Gravity from the entire story. So I'm sure they'll still, work wonders with it, and there'll be some good songs in there, definitely. The guy who did the music for this, for Wicked, Stephen Schwartz, he mentioned about the decision of the 2 film split as well, saying when you have Defying Gravity, like that is designed to close out Act 1 in this big dramatic sense, hit that final note, boom, curtain call, intermission. So if you did it as one film, and you have Defying Gravity in there at like the halfway point, he says it just felt really anticlimactic because as a single film, unless they did put an intermission in the film, which seems to be a bit of a dying art now. I can't remember the last film that had a proper intermission in there. Seems a little bit more like old school Hollywood now that would do films like that, like the old school musicals. So it would probably just be all one film. So you'd have Defying Gravity and immediately move on to the next thing. And correct me if I'm wrong, I think there is, in terms of the story, there is a narrative time jump from Defying Gravity to the opening number of the second act, because they talk about, the Wicked Witch has been at large all these years and has been terrifying us and everything like that. So there is grounds to split it into 2, because I think there is some time between both halves of it. So it's probably the right decision. I think it could be interesting to do some kind of edit of this film once all said and done, to see if you can condense it into one film with an intermission. Granted, it probably would be like 3 hours or 3.5 hours. It depends what's in part 2, but we'll see. But yes, I agree with Carl. Why the film's in 2 parts? The real reason is money. Yeah, that's usually the case. It's why make one Wicked movie that's going to make... Well, I was going to say, when this movie came out, I thought this would be an easy $1 billion movie. Just easy, unquestionably. Like how hyped up Wicked is. You just see, and the marketing for this was nuts. Like screenings were sold out. People were
Marketing.
going mad for this film. It made 758 mil off 150 budget. So let's say, because marketing was everywhere for this, let's say it was double the budget, so 300 mil, and it made 758 mil. That's decent profit, but I don't know. I look at that number and think, I kind of thought this would make more.
Yeah.
Like 800, 900, or possibly even clearing $1 billion. So
I think the marketing was ridiculously it was just everything about the marketing was way. I get it. It was so it was everywhere, and I feel like the marketing was all the same. I don't think it felt very sort of like, because of how much it was. I don't think there was any trailers, or I don't think I'd watched any proper trailers, to be fair, but any sort of interviews or anything like that, all that were any different. I mean, I watched a couple of interviews. I just thought I'd watch Ariana Grande do an interview. That was a fun time. But there was they all felt the same. It didn't feel like, oh, but this is bringing something new by doing this. They've got this. It all felt like it was just all doing the same thing. That's the thing. The marketing was really weird, and even like the merchandise that came out, it was all basically they did everything. They did pencil cases. They did because I remember like HMV had loads of stuff. They did loads and loads of different things, but it was all quite samey as well, in the sense of, we've got a Wicked pencil case, like you've got a Wicked fucking, I don't know, like a poster or whatever. Like, it was all just the same stuff.
mm-hmm.
It all went, I don't know, it all felt very, very samey. And the marketing, the interviews were all the exact same thing, of Ariana Grande and Cynthia Erivo sat there
crying,
holding hands, crying.
Yeah, I know.
Fucking interview. And like, it was just so like, how much can you cry about one movie? It was weird.
I think this movie, I think it's probably the curse of Wizard of Oz, because with MGM there was the whole thing with Judy Garland. Well, there was the whole thing with everything. Every cast member, didn't get out of that movie unscathed. We talked about that in our review. Maybe it's just the curse of Wizard of Oz, because I don't know what happened, but somewhere between the filming of this film, something happened to these two women, because the two women, Ariana Grande and Cynthia Erivo, as we see them now, they are not the same women that went into the production of this movie. My heart goes out to them, because they are wrestling some fucking demons. So maybe that crying in the interviews was some kind of catharsis of traumas that they experienced in Hollywood or something.
It was every interview was so over the top, and I mean, Ariana Grande has always been this whole like, I love gay people. I mean, I don't know if you saw, she did a speech not long ago, and she was like, when she accepted an award, and she was thanking people, I thank my parents, blah 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 blah, and she was like, and I thank gay people. And I'm like, and it's just so like, it was so over the top, and so like, I crowbarred in with the whole like, gay people amazing too, and all that kind of thing. And that's what this was. It was so in your face of, we accept everybody, our love is just amazing, and then they cry about it because they were so happy that love existed in the world.
Fucking hell. It
was so like, just like a weird anime girly superhero thing that was going on. Watch it. And like, when you're watching it'd still be a really good series, and then the random girl would come along and she's like, love is everything, and a big heart would appear in the air, and you sat there going, this is a different tone. It was that, it was that through everything of it, and it was just weird. I mean, I know Cynthia Erivo is like a lesbian, I know all that's like, I know there's like, but it was just so over the top, every single thing about it. And it was the weirdest marketing I've seen for a movie.
Yeah. But I mean, marketing's been everywhere for the second one. What film did we go and see last at the cinema together? And we got like three separate trailers for Wicked for Good.
Yeah, it was The Exorcist.
That was it. Yes, yeah.
It was a weird,
classic. It's both got a chick with a green face in it. There you go. That's probably their thought process. But I said to you, I feel like I've seen Wicked for Good before it's even come out. You just get all that many trailers for it, and then by that time, it's like, oh, I kind of don't want to see the film now, because I mean,
tired. She's got a blue dress in the new one. Bit different.
She has, yeah.
So they changed their dress.
Carl says they think they're making the most important movie ever. Oh, I know. It's just. But he did ask, and well, how did Dale rate Ariana Grande's performance? So you take the floor.
We could be here for a long time.
We got time. Go for it.
No, I thought it was great. I thought she portrayed. I thought she portrayed that version of the character very, very well. And the reason I say that version is because to me, it's like a weird version, which, like you say, it's a fan fiction. I don't like the idea of this Glinda being the same Glinda from the original. It's really weird. But I think she portrayed her really, really well. The popular bimbo girl, which was literally, what the role. I think that whole thing was done really well. She's that weird, mean-spirited kind of just like, I'm popular and everything. Like, she even has those weird cheesy lines that's like, I can't think of one off the top of my head, but just these really cheesy lines where she's just like, yeah, but I'm better than everyone kind of thing. And she portrayed that very, very well. Mm-hmm. The issue I had was just, that's not Glinda. That was weird. It was really strange to see the whole, concept of it all. But I mean, the dancing, everything, that was great. It was amazing.
Yeah, no, I think I read that she did acting lessons for a year before, because to my knowledge, has she acted in anything before this film?
She started as an actor. She did. She was on like Nickelodeon.
Oh, of course, that's right. Yeah, of course she has. Yeah. I wasn't really aware of any of her stuff before, so for me, this was like,
she's doing the whole Meet the Parents sequel and stuff, isn't she?
Yes, she is. I thought both of them, actually, Cynthia Erivo and Ariana Grande, were fantastic in their respective roles. Now, this ain't Shakespeare, it's that trope of the popular, like, blonde bimbo kind of character that you've seen in all of like your teen dramas and your John Hughes movies or whatever it happens to be. But she plays it very well. She had a great physicality, obviously the choreographed dance numbers, that's her forte as, a singer and a performer. So that would have been second nature to her. The vocal talent was incredible. I've never really listened to an Ariana Grande song. I probably have in passing, maybe when I've been at the gym, if it's in the top 10 charts or whatever, but I couldn't tell you an Ariana Grande song at all. I thought she was great, phenomenal performance, evoked the emotion of the character in those vulnerable moments, and the physicality of the character as well, because Glinda's always, it reminds me of, I can't believe I'm bringing this up as like a positive comparison here, but go with me on this. You've watched it recently. Tim Burton's Alice in Wonderland. I think it was Anne Hathaway, how she's this sort of like very float. She does like this with the hands when she walks around kind of thing. It's almost like she is floating on air as the character, as her like fairy-like character or queen-like character. And Ariana Grande does that all the way throughout the film. So I thought physicality and to pull off these musical numbers and the choreography involved, I thought she was amazing. And yeah, Cynthia Erivo, there was a lot of stories with Cynthia Erivo beforehand where she just kind of rubbed me up the wrong way. Probably from like what you were saying in like interviews and stuff and just making it all about her. And there's a couple of examples I'm going to go into in a minute, but separating the actor from the performance, I did think she handled it very well. And I thought both of them were brilliant in their leading roles in this. I thought all of them were pretty good. I thought Jeff Goldblum was a really good choice as well for the Wizard, because he is just like a kooky, eccentric character in real life. So I thought that was a pretty good fit for him.
Yeah, I think the casting for like all of it, I think is great. I think everyone played their roles very, very well. I think it was, I don't think anyone really felt off and very sort of like, is this really this character? Because the thing is as well, she is, so like Ariana Grande, for example, like, as I say, she didn't feel like, I mean, she's quite a big name, but she didn't feel like, oh, you're watching her. She felt like, it was that character, which is really cool. And I think that's always been an issue when you get big characters in movie, like big actresses, big actors and everything. Because I know like The Dirt, which when they did that, I know they were conscious. The members of Motley Crue were very conscious of getting people that were too big to play them, because you wouldn't see them, you'd see the actor. So I know it's always been a thing, but I don't think at any point you really saw like her and was like, oh yeah, but this is her playing a character, So I think the casting was done very, very well for everyone in it, really.
There was one sort of cringy moment in the film where I suppose it's unavoidable when you have a big lavish production like this of a musical. There is a quite an extended cameo actually from the two original stage musical Broadway leads. Idina Menzel and Kristen Chenoweth show up when they get. I think it's during the One Short Day musical number when they get to the Emerald City, and those two characters sort of recount the history of this magical book that's going to come into it in the final act of the movie. And I was just like, oh, it got a little bit too wink, wink, nudge, nudge, a little bit too fourth wall breaking with those two in there. I suppose they meant well, let's give them a bit part in there, but it was a bit distracting.
Too, didn't they? They had Dick Van Dyke in that.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. But at least that was a recurring character, though, wasn't it?
That movie was a waste of fucking time. That was... Oh.
Speaking of a waste of time, I'm going to immediately date this review now. We got the teaser trailer for Disney's live-action Moana. Please, someone tell me the fucking point of that movie. Yeah. It all looks CGI anyway. It looks like the animated... okay. I can't. But you brought up Disney, so... Yeah, there we go. Yeah. Carl says, so are we getting the Tin Man and the Lion in the next film? How will that work? Well, they did get a very brief, very brief cameo at the beginning of this movie. When the camera's panning across the land of Oz, you see like Dorothy, the Tin Man, the Scarecrow, and the Lion making their way to the Emerald City.
I think all the characters, the Scarecrow, the Tin Man, they're people that turn into those characters. I can't remember exactly how it works, but they're basically they're people that we've seen in this that become those. I think the ginger dude, I can't remember his name.
Oh, yeah, Bok.
I feel like he's the Scarecrow. Like I think he turns into him.
Bok Woodsman. So he's the Tin Man, I guess, isn't he? Bok Woodsman?
Or maybe he's the Tin Man.
The Tin Woodsman, yeah. And then the cowardly lion gets set up in this with the little timid lion cub who they save and release back into the wild. Other than the cameo at the beginning, I don't think the Scarecrow gets a mention, does he?
I feel like the Scarecrow is one of the characters. Is he the... You have the popular dude that's very sort of like the guy every girl wants.
Oh, Fiyero.
I feel like he's the Scarecrow.
Is he the Scarecrow?
I can't remember.
I genuinely don't know.
I could be wrong. But there is... I feel like he is, but I feel like the Scarecrow... Yeah, I don't know. He gets turned into him. I can't remember. But yeah, there's all... the thing is, it's one of those movies and one of those things where everything's got a reason. It's like, remember when the original idea of Revenge of the Sith, we were going to have a young Han Solo with Chewbacca and like the rest of the Wookiees, which was a fucking terrible idea, which I'm so glad they didn't do, because it was such a thing of like, not everything needs not everything needs a backstory. We don't need young Han Solo this. He just met Chewbacca once randomly. He's a space pirate doing his thing. That is it. That's all we need. And this is just, again, sort of like, oh, this character becomes this. This is this. And it's like, okay, we don't need a reason for everything. Like, it's just one of those things which you see it so many times in story. And I really hate when everything has a reason. I think some things do just need a whole, like, but that's just the way it is. You don't need a backstory on every little element.
I thought this movie was produced by Warner Brothers, so I was very surprised at the beginning when it was Universal, because I was reading about the film and pretty much exactly what I mentioned last week with Sam Raimi's Oz the Great and Powerful, how they had to have a not a continuity expert on there, but what do you call it? Like plagiarism, copyright expert on set for all the same reasons. Like, again, Cynthia Erivo, like the color green had to be different from the original movie. They couldn't use the mole. Everything we mentioned, they said that they couldn't have the spiral yellow brick road, but I feel like there is a spiral in the center of this one.
Fucking train.
Yes. We'll just take the train.
Where you can imagine Dorothy just walking along. She sees a train. It's like, but
yeah,
it goes there. Why am I walking? I don't understand the train thing. I really don't get it. I think, isn't the train like run by the wizard or whatever? But like, it's like supposed to be, but it's still, it was such a weird thing, It's
a HS2, ain't it?
Yeah, but it's kind of like, imagine they had some Lord of the Rings like sequel like this, where it's like about another character happening at the same time, sort of thing. And
they did. It was called The Lord of the Rings: The Third Age, the video game.
Well, yes, that's
they did
right?
do that.
But imagine that. But for some reason, the characters. What's the main character called in that again?
Barathor.
Barathor, right? Let's imagine Barathor like is part of the way through and then climbs aboard one of the eagles and goes, right, let's go to Mordor really quickly. And you're just like, but we can't do that.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
it's kind of like that. I'm just like, but you can't. That's
spoken like a true Lord of the Rings fan.
Yes. But it's so weird, isn't it? It's like the train was a weird concept that I'd never really understood.
Yeah, I love the design of that train, though. I thought the whole design of the Emerald City and everything. But again, that had to be different from the original film too. The ruby slippers couldn't be used. They actually used the silver slippers in this one,
Original,
which is
the original.
in the book. Yeah, but there was a cool moment where they do sort of like tip their cap a little bit to the ruby slippers. There's a moment during, it could be during the popular song actually, with Ariana Grande. She says like, we're gonna have to do something with your shoes, and she like flips this switch and like she has suitcases full of different shoes, and she picks up 2 red ones, and during the song she clicks the heels 3 times. I thought, oh, okay, that was cool that you put that in there as a reference. I like that.
Yeah.
I mentioned at least two examples of Cynthia Erivo's ego, identity, race or whatever coming into it and just like hitting you over the head with it.
She's so over the top in everything she does. Like she is. I mean, they both are in a lot of things they do, to be fair. But because I saw this interview with her, someone says something and she goes like that, and I'm like, why are we being so dramatic on one little thing?
With her giant claws and like Nosferatu face now.
But just like, and she, there was another one as well. No, there was that time. So that, remember that was like a big thing. Was it that dude that like jumped Ariana Grande recently at like a premiere?
Yes. Yeah. He got arrested, I think, for that now.
Yeah. Because, but like when you see her sort of defend her and she's like that, she's just so over the top. And I was like, everything is so up there. And it's just, some things are just like, we don't need to act out everything.
She's like, no mortal, her soul belongs to me. Like,
yeah, she's like hench as well. Like she does that and her muscles. And I'm like, oh, okay.
Well, that's what happens when you're 0% body fat. But anyway, Cynthia Erivo contributed to certain design aspects of Elphaba's character, notably her hair and nails. And this is a quote from Cynthia Erivo saying, I knew I wanted Elphaba to have micro braids, and I wanted to have a full set of nails for 2 reasons. They are a nod to my culture and a nod to the world of Oz. She imagined that her nails were a part of her magic, that they grew out of her as she hadn't yet discovered why, like her green skin. So, okay, it's a nod to my culture. I got to bring my culture into it. Why don't you just fucking play the character of Elphaba, who is the green wicked witch of the West from Wizard of Oz? Why you got to bring your own culture? I've got to put I got to bring my own baggage into this, my own identity. I have to see myself in Elphaba. I'm like, just play the fucking character of Elphaba. That shit annoys me. But I was like, you know what? Okay, fair enough. You're playing the character. You want to have your own input. Fair enough. This one was just laughable. This was laughably over the top. I don't know if you saw this. So you're aware of the original Broadway poster of Wicked, how it's the very minimalist sort of like 2D design of the witch, like with the brim of the hat and the red lips, and she's like sort of smirking. You've got Glinda sort of whispering in her ear with a bright green background. Yeah. One of the promotional posters for this film, they sort of try to homage that, but things were kind of off. Like the brim of the hat wasn't obscuring Cynthia Erivo's eyes. It was upright. She's got the green lips as opposed to the red. Ariana Grande, because they wanted to keep her face in the poster, they brought the hand down here as opposed to this. So a lot of people who are fans of the musical and are really good with Photoshop and other editing softwares did little fan edits of the poster. So they took the poster and through Photoshop trickery, they brought the hat down, they gave her the red lips, they changed it to a smirk, things like that. Well, I just see that as like an innocent little fan edit thing. Someone who does fan edits myself, it's because you are a fan, the clue's in the name, and you just want to go, oh, as an experiment, I just want to see what this would look like. See if I can bring this poster more in line with the original Broadway poster. Nothing wrong with that as far as I'm concerned. Well, Cynthia Erivo went into fucking conniptions about this, and this was her quote. So the guy who was really proud of it with his edit put it up on Twitter, and she responded with this quote: "This is the wildest, most offensive thing I have seen. Equal to that awful AI of us fighting, equal to people posing the question, quote, is your pussy green?" A reference to a 2014 meme. I have no idea what that is. None of this is funny. None of it is cute. It degrades me. It degrades us. The original poster is an illustration. I am a real life human being who chose to look right down the barrel of the camera to you, the viewer. Because without words, we communicate with our eyes. Our poster is a homage, not an imitation. To edit my face and hide my eyes is to erase me, and that is just deeply hurtful. End quote. Fucking pathetic. Get off your fucking soapbox. It diminishes me. Like, it's fuck off. Someone's literally just doing an edit. And then here you go. Ariana Grande gets asked about that in some kind of interview, and she delivers the most political statement, sort of sitting on the fence. You don't want to piss off Cynthia Erivo, don't want to piss off anyone else. This is how you handle it professionally right here. So Ariana Grande responded with this. Quote, I think it's very complicated because I find AI so conflicting and troublesome sometimes. But I think it's just kind of such a massive adjustment period. This is something that is just so much bigger than us. And the fans are going to have fun and make their edits. And I have so much respect for my sister, Cynthia, and I love her so much. End quote. That is the most, by the numbers response to that question, isn't it?
Fucking Switzerland, fucking...
Yeah.
Quote that you could... Because to be fair, like, I just don't understand why that's
ridiculous.
Really
absolutely, yeah.
She has like 5 middle names, doesn't she?
I'm actually not sure. I'm curious about this now. Let me check.
She has like 5 middle names, and they're all long and hard to pronounce.
I haven't had this much fun since I checked out Ray Fiennes' full name. By the way, someone check that out. Or Akon, actually. Remember singer Akon? Yeah. Check out his actual name. Oh my God.
It's like there's loads of them. There's like a whole army of words. It's
I'm not even going to try and pronounce that, but yeah, anyone like Wikipedia, Cynthia Erivo, that's amazing.
A lot of names, isn't there?
She definitely wins in a game of Scrabble, doesn't she? With all that, my word.
Isn't one of them really long as well, randomly?
Yeah.
Like, okay.
One's like China Sakura. I'm like, that sounds like some kind of slur right there, but okay, we'll go with it. We have Kobe Wiggle, who says, can you do a review on Wicked for Good?
Not today.
We will when we've seen the movie. So we'll be doing that next Monday. We've got our tickets booked. We'll talk about the times that we're going live and everything at the end of the review. But yes, we will be doing a review on Wicked for Good. That will be next week. And Carl says, I remember that whole poster stuff, and she went way over the top. I agree, she's really annoying, but I do think she's great in the film and really like the song I'm Not That Girl. Yeah, and here's the thing, like, I have to separate the actor and how fucking obnoxious she can be at times.
Gary Glitter's a good musician. Like, not...
Yeah.
So...
Fucking diabolical monster in real life, but the music, and that's where you have to separate. And some people can't do that, and that's totally fair enough, but I've always been able to separate that. Yeah. So, but yeah, I thought both of them were fantastic in their roles, as I mentioned. I thought the direction was really good, which surprises me because I saw the name John M. Chu and I was like, I have no idea who this is. So literally before we went live,
he looks like Doc One.
He does a little bit.
Yeah, and that's not even being racist. He just which is funny because I can guarantee from that a lot of people be like, oh, that's racist, and people like that all look the same. It's like, no, they genuinely just do. Like, people would say I look like someone, but I'm guaranteed they would say I look like a white guy, not a black guy. And that's not racist. That's just someone I look like.
I remember on my old channel, someone left like a hate comment on me on one of my old trailer reactions and said, this Chesney Hawkes looking motherfucker. I was like, I can't even be mad. He got me with that one. He absolutely done me with that.
The one and only.
Exactly. But yeah, I checked out what John M. Chu had done because I thought the direction was really on point in this film. And he has been sort of in the musical movie world for a while. Such classics as Step Up 2, The Streets, Step Up
I
3D.
have no idea, right, what that movie is about, except all I know is it's some weird dance, like hip hop thing.
I don't think
And
it goes beyond that, to be
I
honest. But they
don't know.
made 3 of them
I remember,
apparently.
isn't the poster? There's this girl and she's drenched with rain, and she's
Yeah,
like, yeah, I
it's
just
like the
remember it being,
Flashdance kind of look. Yeah, yeah,
it's
yeah, yeah.
really fucking stupid.
Justin Bieber, Never Say Never. Justin Bieber, Believe, and Gem and the
You know, if
Holograms.
they called it Never Say Die, I would have been like,
So I think so far, out of all of those, this is probably his better movie, his best movie of his career so far. And in terms of musical movies, he's apparently doing a adaptation of Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat in 2027. Let's hope that's not was it Tom Hooper, the director, who did Les Mis, which I didn't even think was that great anyway, but a lot of people really like that movie, and he followed that up with Cats. And now he's been in direct to jail since that movie came out. I don't think no one's ever heard of him. There's just no projects on the horizon. I was going to ask you what your favorite song was from this, but I think we're probably pretty unanimous, aren't we, of what our favorite song is from Wicked, or at least this first part of Wicked.
do you know what though? To be fair, I think Popular is a really good song because it's got a lot of differences in it as well, like in terms of like the accenting, the the casual like spoken words, that sort of stuff. I mean, the choreography is great. I mean, just it's the best. But like it's I think it's got a lot of differences in the song as well. It's got these spoken parts. If you listen to it against the original musical version, how it's delivered differently, I think that I would say that's probably mine, to be fair. I mean, Defying Gravity is great, but I think that one has a lot more. I mean, Defying Gravity does too, but I think that one's got a lot more, differences, and the song's broken up a lot, which is really good.
Mm. Kobe Wiggle says, "How much are we going to see Wizard of Oz characters in Wicked for Good?"
We're not set in Oz. It goes down a completely different route. This one, it's set in Haddonfield, and Michael Myers is there, and it's mad. Like, it's going to be great.
I think I heard. I mean, I've never seen the stage musical, as I've mentioned. I've never read the book, but to my knowledge, it does eventually overlap with the original Wizard of Oz.
It does. It's, from what I remember of the musical, when you get to the Wizard of Oz stuff with Dorothy there, it was all done behind a curtain. From what I remember, it was all done as a kind of like, you saw the shadows, so you didn't see Dorothy herself. I think, I don't know if I just made up a word there.
Theunk, yes, that was kind of cool. I like that. Theunk. They make up words in this movie. There's like bravourism and stuff like that. So.
But like, I think Dorothy has been shown in the trailers, but like only the back of her. You don't see her face. I believe that's what they're going to go down. Jesus Christ, I'm on a roll today. Go down with I think that's the route they're going to go down with the whole thing, where you're not going to see her face. So it's going to be that similar sort of thing where, like I say, you don't see her. You see the back of her, kind of in a similar. Again, let's go Halloween again with the whole Michael Myers, when they take the mask off, you don't see his face. It's that kind of, it's there, his face, like Dorothy's there as a person, but you never see it in this world completely, if that makes sense. Because Michael Myers, the whole thing was, obviously he's got the mask on, you not mostly see his face, which I will say now, that's the one thing that ruined the original movie, when you see his face and I was like, Anyway, but the point is, it's kind of like his face is not in this world that you see. It's very sort of, it's obscure. It's like Dorothy is here, but you never fully see her. So it's that kind of, I think that's the route they're going to go down. I don't know, but I'm 99% sure, because I do believe, as I say, from the musical, you never actually saw her properly.
Carl says, "Wonder if we get a deep fake." I did wonder this until I realized that Universal did this movie, and considering all the lengths they had to go to not piss off MGM or Warner Brothers with all the stuff that they did in this movie, I don't think we're going to get Judy Garland. And also on top of that, let's just say, how do you sidestep the whole Cynthia Erivo situation as the Wicked Witch of the West? Because there's a few differences, let me just say, between the original actress and Cynthia Erivo. So, I mean, we don't have the ruby slippers. So I don't think we're going to go down that route. I think they're gonna do Dorothy up to emulate, like, so where you look at it, like from the what do you call the kind of apron that she's got on, or the kind of dress that she's got on? They're gonna do her up so like you look at her and go, that's the character of Dorothy. But no, I don't think we're gonna get a deep fake or anything like that, because I think that would be too much. They would have had to have
How
paid
come
like
they're
huge
allowed
amount of
to use
royalties, I think.
the ruby slippers in Liza P? How come they're allowed to do that? Because she has the ruby slippers on.
Maybe they had to like pay a licensing thing again. I mean, they did that for Return to Oz. It's not unheard of.
To be
but...
fair, I have a feeling because didn't they pay a lot of money to include the ruby slippers in Return to Oz?
I don't know what the sum of money was, but I did hear they had to pay a handsome fee. Yeah,
I think Liza P probably, because they never mention Wizard of Oz. It's just Dorothy and there's ruby slippers. I think that they probably got away with it on some sort of. They might have had to pay something, but I reckon they got away with it because it's like, well, it's just a character called Dorothy. They don't mention the words ruby slippers. It's probably like, but we're allowed colorful, like, because you've seen it in a lot of things. Like My Parents Are Aliens did it with the whole like Josh has these skates on which are like ruby kind of things. He taps his heels together. He says the whole thing. So those kind of things, I feel like they probably got away with it because it's not Wizard of Oz.
There's weird technicalities and loopholes, isn't there? I know you said about Mickey Mouse is technically public domain, but only a particular version of him, and you can't show him in exactly the same way. You have to make some design changes here and there. So it's all very complicated, and that's why they pay them the big bucks to sort all these things out. But it does amuse me how it's like the slightest, most insignificant things, and can land you in some hot water if you use them. Kobe Wiggle says, I wonder what the Tin Man will be like when Bok is transformed into it. Does Dorothy meet him in the movie, and Bok not knowing who she is since he's Bok? Isn't he meant to like cut off all of his limbs? I doubt they're probably going to do that in Wicked Part 2.
He was like, because he has his arm cut off, and then he continues. Then he has his other arm cut off. Then he has his body cut off, and they're like,
Although Part 1 does go into it does stray into body horror territory towards the end. So you have the monkeys, and they're going to get turned into flying monkeys. You've seen the trailer, you know where it's going. And this is where Elphaba's, I guess this is spoiler alert for the end of Part 1, but you've probably already seen it and know the musical. She is invited to the wizard's place at the Emerald City, and she sort of chants this levitation spell. And there's like this almost like David Cronenberg, which is a cool comparison actually, because Jeff Goldblum was in The Fly. This body horror transformation where like the monkey starts screaming in like agonizing pain, and then like the wings like sprout out of its back and grow out. I was like, that's cool. That's the kind of like dark twisted shit. That's the kind of stuff I wanted from Tim Burton's Alice in Wonderland that I never got. And I thought that was really cool.
It's very with that whole thing, it's very because you get it in horror movies, don't you, where someone like says these words, they're like, oh, they're harmless, and some weird shit's happened.
Yeah, it's like Evil Dead, where you like summon the dead from the Necronomicon.
And like I'm doing like Cabin in the Woods, where they chant this thing and then the zombies appear.
Well, exactly, yeah, like Evil Dead, yeah.
It's that kind of that kind of thing, which is quite cool. I thought that scene was a good scene. I think the end to the movie was done very, very well. I think Jeff Goldblum, the great thing he does is he plays, like you said, he's a bit simple-minded as well. He's that whole, because the thing is, the wizard is not a wizard, is he? He's he is just a man, and he plays that kind of not sure what he is kind of thing very, very well.
Yeah, he's the man behind the curtain. Carl, Lost, man behind the curtain references. Yeah. Let's see. Carl disagrees with you. He says, disagree on showing Michael's face in Halloween. Watch it again. He looks confused and scared. Adds a lot to the character.
Are we talking about? We're not on about the little kid, though, are we? Because that's fine.
No. He's no. He's. Oh, hang on.
That's what I'm saying. Are you on about the little kid? Because that's fine. I'm on about when he's an adult. For a brief moment, she pulls off his mask, and you see his face. Then he puts it back on very quickly. That I hated.
Yeah.
I mean, I just thought that was very takes away the mystery of him. I think as a kid, he goes from a kid to now he's no longer a kid.
He's talking about at the end. He's talking about it.
See, I didn't. Yeah, I thought it was very like he's trapped behind the mask. Now he's taking it off. You see him, and it's kind of like I don't know. I just
Carl says, did like the voice of the wizard in this. I said to you, didn't I? I was watching it earlier, and it's kind of interesting how they do it, because in the original film, it's sort of this projection. And then in the Sam Raimi one, I like how they did it in that as well, how it was like a movie projection on like a cloud of smoke or whatever. In this one, it's like a giant fucking mechanical face that he's constructed, which was really cool looking. And yeah, the voice to me sounded like Smaug from The Hobbit. He even gets a line that's very, very similar to Smaug, where he's like, "Who are you and where have you come from?" I was like, "Oh, that's Smaug. This is Benedict Cumberbatch in this bitch." But yeah, no, I loved all the visual design with that stuff. Thought it was great. I liked the little model of Oz that he'd created, and he was like, I wonder what I don't know what color to make the bricks, so I've rigged this thing up where I can change the color of them all, and let me know what you think. And yeah, yellow did look better. Maybe that's just because that's what I've always known. But Kobe says, does the Wizard of Oz gang meet the wizard in part 1 or part 2? By Wizard of Oz gang, I'm assuming
the Wizard of Oz gang,
like, well, yeah. So I'm guessing it's probably part 2, maybe.
Yeah. It's done as, I feel like, so I think, like I say, I've not read the book. I don't plan to read the book because, like I say, this movie delivers what it's meant to do. But the concept, I'm just not a fan of. I'm not a fan of that whole, the villain's misunderstood. Yay. I'm not a fan of that kind of thing. But it's also with Glinda and everything. It was just, anyway, the point is that the movie delivers what it's meant to do, like we said. But because of the concept, of the book, it's not something I will read. But I think I've read a synopsis, and from what I remember, at the end of the book, the witch still dies. She's allergic to water. She melts. She dies. But in the stage show, it's like she goes under a trapdoor. It's different. Mm-hmm. As I said, I don't want to spoil it. Even that is a big spoiler. But anyway, it's. Do you know what I mean? The point is, it's different. It's changed. Mm-hmm. It's a different thing to the book. So I think, I don't know how far near the end it will be for the movie, because the movie seems like it's dragging out a lot. So
how did they find out that the Wicked Witch is, I was going to say, allergic to water? It's a little bit more traumatic and serious than that, isn't it? But there's this bit in the movie where it starts to rain, like it gets all like thunder and lightning, and Michelle Yeoh's character brings up the umbrella quickly and puts it over, and she says, "Oh, we can't let you get wet," and she says, "I can control the weather," and then she turns into like Storm from X-Men and sends the clouds away. How that first time that Elphaba got caught in the rain, how is that how they realized that, oh no, she's like partially melting, or no, she's turning into like fucking goop on the floor, like keep her out of, it's like a gremlin, don't get them wet.
That's the thing. How do you find out you're allergic to bees? Because last time I checked, if you're allergic to bees and you get stung, you die.
I guess you've got like what, like an EpiPen or something. Is that the thing? Or
what about if you're like a baby?
Survival of the fittest, isn't it? At that point, it's like, it's just the way the cookie crumbles. What do you think to the ending of this? I was going to bring this up because maybe I need to see part 2, see the full context of everything and how it all falls out and everything. But I guess there's a spoiler alert for at the end of part 1.
I really wanted her not to be able to fly and just fall to the bottom and die. That's what I wanted.
Defying gravity.
Yeah.
Credits. Yeah.
Basically, that's what I wanted.
So, okay, I'm going to sort of explain roughly what happens at the end. So, Elphaba is summoned to the Emerald City, and she brings along Glinda with her best friend. And they go and see the wizard, and the wizard says, "Elphaba, we need you to read from this ancient text, because you're like super amazing, powerful magician witch lady." So she starts reading it, and it's this levitation incantation, but it horrifically transforms all the monkeys into flying monkeys. And now the wizard's like, "Haha, yes, we can use them as spies and henchmen." And me and what's her name, Michelle Yeoh's character, Morabel or whatever, the leader of the university, we're behind it all. We've orchestrated this whole thing to, dehumanize the animals and put them in cages, and we're going to take back Oz and, elicit all this propaganda and everything. They basically turn into like fucking Nazis at the end, and they monologue all this plan. And Glinda sees all of this happening before her eyes, and Elphaba's like, "I want no part of this," and she grabs the book and she starts running away, and they're like, "Seize her!" and they all start like chasing after her and everything. The fucking flying monkeys are trying to like grab Glinda as well because they're fucking crazed and rabid. And then at the end, Glinda's like, when it goes into defying gravity, Elphaba's like, I'm gonna leave. I need to get out of here. And Glinda's like, come back and let's have a word with the wizard. Like, he's not all bad. Like, what are you doing? Why are you flying off the handle and doing your own thing? I'm like, Ariana, did you just miss the part where they fucking said their evil plan? And then they also intercut Defying Gravity with Michelle Yeoh on like the tannoy doing like a message to the entire nation of Oz saying Elphaba's fucking evil and is the evil witch, and she's the one that's corrupted all of the monkeys, and she's fucking evil, and you should be terrified of her and her green skin. And again, Glinda's hearing all of this, and she's just like, it's fine. Let's go and have a cup of tea and have a chat with them. I didn't understand that part. I'm like, I know you let her get away, and you clearly, that you're best friends still. But when I've heard Defying Gravity for all these years, having no context of the story, I assumed that Elphaba was already doing some shady shit. Like, she was coming into her power a little bit more, and she was maybe showing signs of like Anakin and the dark side kind of thing. And Glinda was like, no, you can't do this. Like, come with me. Like, you can be good. That's what I thought it was. But I don't understand how Glinda's just... I don't know. She's sort of on the side of the wizard, tentatively.
It's because she wants to be magical. She wants her wand to work, where she taps it and it doesn't do anything. She wants her wand to work.
I just thought it was strange. I just thought it was a very strange character shift at the end. I was like...
She's the evil character, really.
I guess, kind of, yeah. They sing that... We begin the film with that, like, oh, the Wicked Witch is dead kind of thing, and they're all happy. And then, like, they, like, burn this, like, giant Wicker Man-sized monument of the Wicked Witch. And Glinda's just there, and she's like, oh, yes, the Wicked Witch is dead. And then it's only when they say, like, yeah, but you were best friends, weren't you? And then it goes like, we get the whole rest of the film. And, like, she's taking this on the chin pretty well. So some pretty diabolical shit's going to happen in part 2, where she's just cool with the Wicked Witch dying. Or I guess not dying, escaping down a fucking trapdoor. I'm going to hate that so much when they do that. I can already tell. I'm going to hate it.
It's interesting. I remember watching it for the first time, like, oh, so that's the thing. And then I watched Wizard of Oz again, and I'm like, is this... Because I was a kid, and I was like, is this a thing? Is this... And I was like, that's not a thing from the original. I'm so confused.
Kobe says, what do you think will happen at the end of Wicked for Good Part 2, if you predict? Well, I mean, the ending exists out there, so I suppose I could go and spoil it for myself, but I guess just off the cuff right now, it'd be interesting to see what they do with the Wicked Witch, because she has got to become this horrible, evil witch. They can't keep spinning the charade where they're sort of letting the what do you call it, the propaganda speak for itself, and they're saying, oh, the Wicked Witch has burnt this family to the ground. It's like, well, actually, no, she didn't do that. You're just spinning this story. They can't keep doing that, because eventually she is going to be like, yeah, I'll get you, Dorothy, and your fucking little dog too. Like,
in the book, isn't the sequel called Son of a Witch? And doesn't she have like
is it?
Kid? Yeah, it is. I don't know this. I've not read the synopsis for that, but I think she has a kid.
Oh, Jesus. Is this like Harry Potter and the Cursed Child, where Bellatrix was pregnant with Voldemort's kid?
It's some weird... Yeah, I think she has a kid. I mean, that explains the title, so it makes sense that she has a kid. But, yeah, I don't...
I have a feeling that they came up with that title first and was like, oh, we could do something with this.
Yeah. Yeah.
No. So I've no idea. I kind of want to see, like... Elphaba go, well, if you're going to chat all this shit about me, I will give you an evil witch, and I will, like, murder people and level Munchkin Land, and, all the stuff like that we saw in the Sam Raimi one, where she launches an attack on Munchkin Land. I don't know if it is an action-packed finale. I don't know if it is going to lead to, like, this big battle thing with the Winky Guards and the flying monkeys, and you're going to have...
I want an origin story of the Winky song. The Oreo song. I want like, to see like the wizard like run up and be like, guys, I wrote you a song. Right, just hear me out. You got to chant this. That's what I want.
They're so badass. I love the Winky Guards. Although the name kind of diminishes their intimidation factor just a smidge, doesn't it? I'm going to give us a little spicy hot take right now with Defying Gravity in this film, because as I mentioned when I was watching the film, that being pretty much the only song that I knew and the one that I genuinely really like. I think it's a wonderfully written song. Um, I was checking the runtime of the film and thinking, oh, fuck me, I'm halfway. Christ, okay. And checking again, like, oh, I've got an hour left, okay. And then Defying Gravity started, and I was really looking forward to seeing what they do with it on screen. And there are some cool aspects, but what I really disliked about this version of Defying Gravity was how stop and start it was. It's so broken up and fragmented. So they go into it, if you're aware of the song, the full complete song, and then the song just stops. And we get like an extended action scene or some additional dialogue between the characters. And then the song comes back in, and it's sort of, you have to sort of like find your way back into the song again, and then it starts to pick up momentum as the song builds. It's it's like Elphaba coming into her own and like gathering together her agency, and then it stops again. And I'm like, can we stop doing this? They did this in the Cats movie. I mean, that film's awful and terrible anyway, but there are some songs there that have got so much momentum behind them in the original stage musical that they just kept interrupting and intercutting pointless shit in there, which threw off the whole structure and momentum of the song. And I feel like they kind of did that with Defying Gravity in this one. They knew that it was going to be the big showstopper, and instead of just delivering what is, I can't even remember how long Defying Gravity is as a song. Is it like, what, 3.5 minutes, 4 minutes, maybe something like that? Let's drag it out to like this 8-minute fragmented thing with action beats in there because it's the end of our film. We need it to be larger than life. And I feel in doing that, in trying to make it more epic, they actually diminished it by quite a bit. And it didn't quite have the impact. If you listen to the soundtrack version, I'm not even talking about the original musical, I'm talking about the soundtrack of this film. They obviously remove all of those fragmented parts, and it is the song just beginning to end as a complete entity. And if there was a way to edit it in such a way, the end of this film, where it just follows the beat of the actual song, then I think it would have been a stronger ending personally. I also think that the one that we get in the movie is actually live audio. They captured it on set. I don't know if they did that for every song. I imagine it would be pretty difficult to do that with every song, but I know certain songs, they sort of went with like a Les Mis approach where they just got the actors to record it and picked it up on set. But the ones that you hear on the soundtrack are clearly, studio based, and they've had time to iron out all the kinks and everything. So yeah, I was a little bit underwhelmed, I'd say, by Defying Gravity. I think my expectations were quite high for it, and it didn't quite deliver for me personally.
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was fine. I thought it was fine. The thing is, musicals do that a lot, don't they? Where it's very different on the soundtrack because the movie plays lots of movie bits in between.
Yeah.
I thought it was fine.
Mm-hmm. Do you think Dorothy is going to be more focused on in Wicked Part 2 since John M. Chu said that? Did he say that? I mean, if he did, I guess I don't think she'll overshadow like Glinda or Elphaba. But
I think that's the thing. I think having her like I say, I don't think you'll see her face. I think having her there, not seeing her face, just shows you that she's not the main center. Like it's a different thing. I think it'll be. Yeah, I don't think she'll overshadow. I really don't. I wonder how they'll do because they're going to have to do the scene, aren't they, where the witch shows up and Glinda's there and Dorothy's there. But to be fair, no, they could easily do that where you have literally the back of Dorothy's head. She'll probably talk, but you'll see the back of her head. Then it'll be more focused on the witch. Yeah, they'll do that, but it'll be an interesting bit to see.
There's two approaches they can go down, and I don't think they're going to go with this first option. The first option is you do an ending of Rogue One where you get the plans to Princess Leia, and when we first see her, she's got her back to the camera. She's in the outfit. She's got the hair. We know who it is. They hand the plans, but Disney couldn't help themselves. And she turns to the camera with CGI Uncanny Valley face. It's like, what have they sent us? Hope. And like you get like the laggy mouth movements, and it's like, why did you do that? You just have the actress from the back, the body double. We know who it is. Or they can go a Doctor Sleep route, where you have Jack Nicholson's character in there, you have Shelley Duvall's character in there, played by different actors. They are doing a great impression. you look at them and you kind of know, I know what character they're trying to emulate, but they didn't go the route of trying to do some kind of CGI deep fake or stock footage kind of thing. I think that's probably the approach they're going to go down. I think it's just going to be someone who you look at and go, yeah, that's Dorothy. I mean, we've had loads of different Dorothy Gales across all the different, all the myriad of Wizard of Oz films. So I don't think it has to be Judy Garland. And I mean, this film doesn't fit into that continuity anyway. There's always sort of like this loose continuity, this loose connective tissue between all of the Wizard of Oz films because they're all made by different companies. There's all different legalities in there and everything like that. So yeah, I just try and I view them as their own thing, which they are, with some similar iconography and some similar elements between the films.
Yeah,
So
you've got to view this as its own thing. I can't see it in the same world. It's its own,
yeah.
What if they went to school together? Sure. That's what if that's the question we want to ask, cool, let's do it.
Kobe says, will a Wizard of Oz reboot happen at this point? I'm obsessed with it. I mean, it's one of the classic films of all time, but we've had lots of different versions of it. So I did wonder if they'd go with like
original, though. I don't think that's something that will happen. Because we spoke about this before, didn't we? Like, is that something they're probably going to do? I don't think they'll do a remake of the original because it will be too. I think it's too much of a staple of this is what it is.
Yeah.
They do remake a lot of stuff that you think is a staple, so it's not, I guess, impossible. But I think it's it's almost like, imagine remaking Star Wars. Like, it's such a big sort of.
They'll do it at some point.
Yeah, I know, but it's such a big sort of like, because the thing is, like, let's take Harry Potter.
Well, I was going to say they're remaking that, aren't they?
Yeah, but that was a book, so they're just doing another, like, do you know, like another sort of retelling, another whatever. But like Star Wars is its thing, and it is what it is then. And I mean, I know this was a book first, so I guess, but I think it's got its point where I don't know. I can't really see it, to be fair.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, could you do a version of Wizard of Oz as a remake technically, but follow the book, but you use like Cynthia Erivo as the Wicked Witch, and you get Ariana Grande back as Glinda, and
that's fine.
I suppose it depends how much money this makes. I wonder if this is going to sort of make the same amount as Wicked Part 1, or if there's going to be a slight little drop off.
I don't know. I wonder if it'll make more, only because will people who like are later to the game and are like, okay, right, fine, it's good, that then go, okay, we'll watch the second one.
Well, I will say, at least on opening day, or opening weekend, sorry, because we're seeing it on Monday, but this thing comes out at the back end of this week, I think. All sold out, like pretty much like from 4 p.m. onwards showings.
It's going to be the most sold out movie I've seen in years. I remember, I think Revenge of the Sith was sold out when I saw that. I think I remember when Harry Potter was. So I went on to see the fourth one. That was fully just the line was out the door. By the time it got to the last one, it was average viewing. Like that's.
Oh no! See, I think Deathly Hallows Part 2 was packed. Return of the King. Spider-Man No Way Home was sold out. A lot of the Avengers ones, like the big Marvel movies.
Because Deathly Hallows Part 2, for example, that made over $1 billion. That was the highest grossing one. And I remember towards the end, so I remember 4 significantly of going to see 4, and I got there. I think we went after school or whatever, and I was like, we got there was a girl in front dressed like a witch, because that was when everyone went dressed as a. But this is the only one I remember it for. I remember going to see the first one, and but I was a lot younger, and obviously I guess the hype wasn't as big when that first came out. But I just remember going to see the 4th one, and there was a girl dressed as a witch in front, and we were like, I don't know, like just behind her. There was no one else at this point. Within 5 minutes, I looked behind me, the queue was out the door, people dressed as fucking witches and wizards and all that kind of stuff. But then I don't remember that for any of the later ones, but they were still huge. I don't know if it's my mind that just doesn't remember it, but I don't remember that after number 4.
I do kind of agree with Carl on this. Like, I do love seeing a busy cinema. Some of my favorite moments, like the certain films you remember from just the energy and the excitement of the crowd that you see it with.
Huge film I went to see was at the cinema like that where there was just everyone on the planet there.
what ones that come to mind for me, I mean, I mentioned Spider-Man No Way Home. That was amazing because you've got 3 different generations there of Spider-Man fans. And like there was me who was the Tobey Maguire fan, and you've got a Green Goblin back, and Doctor Octopus and Sandman, and you've got that Sam Raimi influence in there a little bit. And there was one shot in particular in that film where you've got all 3 Spider-Man, and they do like the trailer shot, like they all swing in front of the moon in slow-mo, like, and then all do like the superhero landing on like a fucking building. I can't, it's a Statue of Liberty or something. And there's the iconic pose where you've got all 3 Spider-Man landed there. And I was just losing my mind. I was like, this is the greatest I've seen. Like, that's Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man. He's back. This is a sequel. This is as good as Spider-Man 4 as I'm ever going to get. And the entire crowd was just like, that got an applause. That's usually something that happens in US cinemas. We like stiff upper British. We could see the most amazing film ever.
But what also happens in US
seated like this.
They shoot everyone. Remember The Dark Knight? Where that guy ran in and shot everyone.
As The Dark Knight Rises as well, wasn't it?
Well, that's because the movie was shit. I think he just shot that
Jesus. But yeah, it was a good screening. Top Gun Maverick. Everyone was on the edge of their seat. That was probably the best example of like
Star Wars Episode 7. I remember that being like
midnight screening.
Yeah, that was oh, Fantastic Beasts. Thinking of midnight screening, I went to a midnight screening of that. That was pretty big. Suicide Squad as well, but
oh really?
These are all movies that dropped off.
Yes, yeah.
I mean, Fantastic Beasts dropped off after. I think the first one did all right for a while, and then it's by the second one people went, this isn't that good, is it? And Suicide Squad dropped off after before the credits rolled. That was. But yeah, I don't remember the last huge movie that's been like, that is a movie that is huge and is still huge. I don't know.
It's probably Top Gun Maverick, I think, for me. As I said, like that was, I think it was not long after cinemas had opened up again. This was like leading the charge as the big blockbuster. Tom Cruise had put everything into it. He was doing it for us, and it was just a good summer blockbuster without all of the crap political bollocks in there. It was just a great, it reminded you of like what like 80s or 90s action movies used to be, where it was just a great fucking spectacle, amazing action, edge of your seat kind of stuff, and everyone was fucking loving it. It was great. That's probably one of my favorite films in the last 10 years, in all honesty. That film had no reason being as good as it was. SeaWorld Man says, not to be irrelevant, but went to see Sing 2 with a homie and dead screening. It was a one-off time going. I've had that a few times where there's like...
Doesn't Sing 2, isn't that the one with the pig on the front?
Yes, like the animated one. Yeah. Carl says, when I watched Wicked, it was in a packed screening. I was worried people would talk, but everyone was well behaved, and it really added to the experience.
You know what?
If people are getting rowdy, that would piss me off.
You know what really added to my experience? It was during Bill and Ted 3. Or was it Space Jam? No,
I remember this.
It was Bill and Ted 3. Because I went in, and this was during the pandemic, and I went to the cinema, and I was convinced I was the only one in there for so long. It was great because I was like, oh, I'm literally the only one in here. So I started doing what you do when you're at home, you're playing a video game or you're watching a movie and people do things and you just start saying shit out loud. And I was doing that. I was laughing at things and I was just saying and I was just speaking out loud because I was like, well, no one's fucking here. And it was a weird horror movie moment because it's weird. I was like, yeah, it's fine. I was just talking as if this was just me. And then I think about 20 minutes later, something was said in the movie that was funny. And I just heard this guy behind me go, and I was like, oh shit, I'm not alone. It was really weird. It was like me and one other dude there. And I was like, you just literally heard me just bullshitting throughout the whole thing. This is great. That was my favorite moment.
Carl says, may not be the best film, but the best experience I had was seeing The Hobbit. Was going through a hard time and the audience was perfect and it was the perfect escape I needed. Yeah, and that's why movies are so great, and it's great when a movie can capture like that. I remember having a good time at some of the Hobbit films. It kind of diminished as the trilogy went on, but I remember really liking An Unexpected Journey when I first saw it. Desolation of Smaug I saw twice on the same night. I went to see it with my mom first, and then I'd arranged to see it with my mate afterwards. So as I left the screening, having seen it, my mate was there waiting for me, and I went straight back in and watched it again. It was literally back to back. I watched that movie. You couldn't pay me anything in the world to do that now, but. And then by the time the third one came around, I was just like, oh, okay, let's get this over with. I was kind of done after that second movie. But yeah,
I went to see Rise of Skywalker out of obligation.
Same. I went to just like an afternoon. That was like a 1 p.m. screening. I went for that.
Yeah, it was afternoon, random. Like, let's go because you can't not.
I wasn't gonna go. Genuinely, like I was like, I'm done. Like, there's no point. I'd read the leaks at this point, so I kind of knew what was going to happen or what I expected to happen. And on the day, the same mate actually, who I mentioned, I just went to see Desolation of Smile with. He sent me a text. He was like, "So, are we seeing the new Star Wars film? Like, what's happening?" I was just like, oh, "If you want to." So he was just like, "Yeah, we'll go. Well, I'll book the ticket." So we went for like 1 p.m. But it was fucking terrible.
It was.
He got some kicks out of it though. There were some bits of it he liked, like the bit where Palpatine does like his base boosted lightning in the air. He like it was like grabbing my arm, like, "Oh, that's awesome, isn't it?" I was like, "No, it's fucking dumb."
I think mine was sort of kind of. I think I was forgetting about it, going, I should probably go at some point because completes the trilogy, completes the thing.
Obligation, as you said. Yeah. And then there was the bit where all the Jedi voices, you get like Anakin's voice, and for some reason you get Mace Windu's voice, even though he never learnt the power to transcend or whatever. And he was hearing all these voices, and he was like, it felt like his fingertips were like going through my fucking arm. He was grabbing it like, "Dude, it's Mace Windu." I was like, "Yeah, but that doesn't make any sense. Like, why is this happening?"
Yeah, they don't let black people into the Force.
No. Oh, we've had a few other questions. I'm just going to burn through these quickly, and then we will round it off there, I think. Let me just type that out real quick. Kobe says, "Are you going to see the New York premiere live?" I didn't know. What are they broadcasting a performance of Wicked or something?
I thought they were. I don't know. I saw loads of things that they were doing as like Singapore premiere and stuff like that. I don't know. Is it out in other countries? Or I can't see it being out in any other countries. I feel like this would be a one worldwide. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, if they do a live stream of it, I'd be down for watching it. I haven't heard any information on it, but I'll definitely check that out. And Kobe says, "What do you think the Tin Man will say after 'What did you do to me'?" I'm trying to think of some kind of like Arnold Schwarzenegger level Tin Man related pun here. What have you got?
I don't know. I'm trying to say.
We see Tin Man puns. I'm trying to think of something. I'm trying to think on my feet here.
Doesn't he every time he cries, doesn't he like turn to rust?
Yeah, something like that.
Really shit of like he can never cry. I mean, I'd be fine because I never cry, but I do when I laugh very easily. Like
that would be like the end of T2, wouldn't it? Where it's like, "I know now why you cry, but it is something I can never do."
Yeah.
Oh, so come on, AI, don't let me down. I put Tin Man puns.
Fucking hate AI. Can't be dealing with AI.
These aren't even puns. These are just really bad. These are just awful. Like the first one, for example, the Tin Man's favorite brand of underwear, Fruit of the Aluminum.
I found that funny though.
Oh dear. Carl says, "In my screening of Rise of Skywalker, when Luke caught the saber, someone shouted, 'Suck it, Johnson.' Made me laugh." That's good. That's good.
Yeah.
Have you seen those videos of the audience reaction where they do the whole Rey Skywalker thing at the end and the whole audience just boos?
Yeah.
It's like throwing shit at the screen.
Yeah. It was a bad movie. It's a
was.
bad trilogy. It never happened.
Really is. Yep, never happened. Erase it from the archive memory. Yep.
Rogue One didn't happen either. That was terrible.
I like Andor now, so I've accepted it. It's welcomed into the family. Not quite.
Is Andor the one with Darth Plagueis? No, that's Acolyte.
No. We do not speak its name. Yeah, no, Andor's fucking brilliant. So by extension, Rogue One is now welcomed into the family. It's almost like you're on this council, but we do not grant you the rank of master kind of situation with how I feel about Rogue One. Kobe Wiggle says, I just subbed to your channel. I love this channel. Oh, that's great. Thank you very much. Welcome to the crew. Well, it's great. Hopefully we pick up some more people from Wicked for Good as well. Hopefully next week. But no, this has been really fun. I actually think this is probably one of the most enjoyable little mini retrospectives we've done on the channel. I never thought that The Wizard of Oz would be this popular with people, but here we are. We get people from all walks of life joining us. So yeah, no, thank you for tuning in to us tonight. And I mean, if you are a Wizard of Oz fan, we have 3 other videos up before this. We've got the original one, 1939. We've got Return to Oz, and we did Oz the Great and Powerful. So do check those out if you want to. See if there's anything else on the channel you like. What have we got coming up?
I wouldn't check out Oz the Great and Powerful as a movie, though.
Yeah,
I wouldn't. Well, I wouldn't. No, I wouldn't say it's not a It's not a waste of time. It's not a Rise of Skywalker. It's just, there's probably better things to do with your day.
Agreed. This movie was better than that. I know it was. Yeah,
Wizard of Oz. It's like, do you watch that? It's like, you know what? You've seen the better one.
Yeah. What have we got coming up this week? Well, we'll be going live again on Wednesday for, is it The Tale of Princess Kaguya? I didn't check the name of it again. Our Studio Ghibli retrospective. We're 4 weeks away from finishing, so we're very, very close. And then we've done all of those, so we'll be closing out the year with the end of that retrospective. We are planning on taking a little bit of a break. I'll still try and get some content out through the month of January. But then we've got a massive retrospective planned from the beginning of February, which is pretty much going to take us all the way through to September. So but we've been hitting it pretty hard this year with the content, with the retrospectives. We've been on it. So we're going to take a couple of weeks break just to iron everything out, and then we'll be coming back strong, reinvigorated.
World War II, just go like, we're going to take a few weeks off, just let everyone like get to grips with it. Why didn't they do that?
Well, they did in like World War I and stuff, didn't they? With like Christmas Day, it was like, oh, we'll be nice to each other for this day, and then we'll kill the shit out of each other tomorrow.
I really never understood that. I remember when my teachers in school taught me about that, and I was like, yeah, but why? And they were like, oh, because it's Christmas. I'm like, yeah, but why? Like, you wanted to kill each other. Yeah, but it's Christmas. Imagine that, like, you get someone like fucking chasing you with an axe. It's like, mate, it's Christmas. You know what? You're right. Like, I'll come back tomorrow. Enjoy your day. Like, that ain't a thing. It was just so weird.
Kobe Wiggle says, do you guys have a Discord? Okay, this is where I need to level with you guys. I am an old man now. I'm pushing 33. I'll give my age away. I am not good with technology at all. Like, just at all. Like, I had Twitter for a while, and I just never understood the damn thing. So I never fucking used it. So I pretty much use the community page on my YouTube page, which is where I sort of, I announce when we're going live and what we've got planned and stuff. So you can always shoot a message across on there. But no, as of right now, I don't have a Discord. I think I just need some kind of training montage and, in terms of like Instagram and TikTok and Discord. So I actually know what I'm doing with all of this stuff. But
only children have TikTok. Only children and
then I do not want TikTok.
Single mothers who are still children have TikTok.
Fair point. So Discord, I'm not ruling it out. As the channel expands, if there's an outcry for it, then I might consider it.
I didn't realize how big Discord was, because I thought it was just one of those things, and then you hear about it a lot, and I never realized it was such a big thing.
Mm-hmm. Carl says, if you need someone to run an Instagram account, give me a shout. Yeah, that'd be awesome, man. I mean, Carl, you've been around for you've been around this channel and the other channel that shall go nameless for a long time now. So yeah, no, that'd be great.
It's what you post to do, because the way I've used it, I do have it. I have no followers. I literally just follow relevant musicians and stuff just to keep updated with shit that's going on. It could be like Kingdom Hearts or something, just because then I might log on. Oh, this has happened. Boom, and I know it's happening. Which was really weird, because when the Sammy Hagar thing happened, that's when I deleted it, and I went, I don't need Instagram, this is shit. And then you messaged me, like, oh, Sammy Hagar's coming to UK, and that made me go, right, okay, I'll make an Instagram again, just follow it, just because I don't have a clue what's going on in the world if I don't. But yeah, Instagram is that kind of just to keep up to date with it. Like, it's really good for that, and you just post photos and you do whatever. But yeah, social media is just too much. There's too many. Why can't we just have just one thing?
Mm-hmm.
Just
Yeah, well, well, then it become a monopoly, then, wouldn't it? So you got all these
what they're
competing
trying to do, though.
companies and whatnot.
Everything's owned by Facebook, isn't it?
But Sammy Hagar will be definitely getting back on the gig reviews then when we did our Black Sabbath one. I did my Wasp one not too long after that. We did the Lita Ford one as well, didn't we? But yeah, like your most anticipated gig probably of all time. Yeah, Sammy Hagar. We never thought we'd get it. Pretty much a full, well, near enough full Van Halen set.
And I get to do a comparison because I'm going twice.
You are going twice, yeah. At that point, you may as well just like try and find a way to get to the other 2 dates as well. Just see them all.
I'm going to 50% of it, but I also like the idea of it. I'm going to 50%, and it's 50% of Van Halen. I like that. It's like nice little, it's the 50% tip.
Carl says, "I'm with you, Dale. I use it to find out when tours are happening." To your point, Carl, about
I do follow Ariana Grande because I like to just look at pictures of her. It's a nice pastime. If I'm ever feeling down,
on Instagram, you follow her on Instagram.
Yes. Not just like I take pictures of her and follow her around because I got arrested for
that. To your point, Carl, about running like an Instagram page. Let me get my Hobbit edit done first, because I know that I've talked about in the past wanting to rebrand the channel. I don't know whether I'll call it Chris Reviews or something like that, or a different name, like new logo, just complete fresh rebranding on the channel. But first I want to get my edit done. So this Christmas I get 2 full weeks off. I am just going to give it my all my free time is going to go on that Hobbit edit to try and get as much of it done as I can. So probably into next year sometime when I go for some kind of rebrand, we'll definitely have a chat, and that'd be great if you could run something like that for sure, because it would be nice to expand the channel, and subscribers are going up very nicely. As we mentioned, we picked up Kobe Wiggle today, and we do want to see it expand. We like talking about all this stuff. I'm trying to think about some different content as well to do a little bit, just sort of like thinking ahead. Like I still love doing the retrospectives. I just love like the simplicity of just sitting back with yourself and like chatting about a movie, everyone jumping in and sharing their opinions as well. I like that, and I want that to still be the heart of what we do, but I'm trying to think of maybe some like different ideas. I think the tier lists was cool when we did that.
The gig reviews is called like a nice little thing.
That's as and whenever, though, isn't it? Like we're not at gigs like every other week or something.
Review is a good idea, but we never have time.
Mm-hmm. I was thinking maybe something where, I mean, again, this would depend on my free time. If I just so happen to watch a movie, like not like a modern one, not part of a retrospective, just one that I sit down and go, you know what, I want to watch that movie. I'd be like, I want to talk about that movie for like 5 or 10 minutes because I watched this today. Something like that. I think the quizzes are quite fun, but they're quite lengthy to compile. Tier lists, as I mentioned, I think the tier lists are really fun to do. So we could do maybe like a Studio Ghibli tier list once we've finished them all. I think that'd be a nice way to finish it all off. Kobe says, do streams like chill hangouts. Well, yeah, absolutely. I'm always open to suggestions. So, I mean, I do this because, well, we do this because we enjoy talking about movies, good or bad, whatever it happens to be. It's nice to do these retrospectives as well and just, go through some, maybe, a stack of films that we haven't seen before. That's always
a dinosaur tier list.
A dinosaur tier list. That'd be cool.
Yeah, best dinosaurs. I don't know how many there are, though. There's a lot of dinosaurs. There's a Nigosaurus, which
that's actually true. And a Pachysaurus, isn't there?
Yeah, there's some great dinosaurs. There has to be a lot, though. And apparently, which I think most people will know, but I didn't find out until about 5 years ago, the T-Rex is closer to us than like another dinosaur or whatever living. Like they live for that long that like the span of dinosaurs are cool. Maybe we should. There's a lot of dinosaurs.
Seaward Man says, what about out of theatre thoughts? Well, we kind of do that sometimes anyway, don't we? Like we go and see the movie. We drive back here. It's like a 15-minute drive or so, depending on traffic sometimes. And then, like when we went to see The Exorcist, for example, that was pretty much, you hadn't seen that film before. We were fresh out the cinema, got back and get our reviews on it. Next week, when we do Wicked for Good, that's also going to be the same. I guess as well, we should say next week, we're going to be live at a slightly earlier time for that because we've got an earlier showing of it. So I think we're aiming for around 7 p.m. for our review on Wicked for Good. So, I mean, if you can join us live around that time, that'd be great. Yeah, hopefully see all of you there too. Carl says I run a Facebook fan page for a band I like as well. Oh, awesome.
In America, that would be 2 p.m. Wait, Carl's not from America. Why? No.
No. Carl's from good old Whitey. Yeah. I always like knowing where people are from. I'm just like, so like sound off like where we all.
I think Carl's from Missouri and ran a farm. Yeah. But that is really far from.
No, I think Carl's relatively a local boy. I think probably maybe not too far.
Didn't he say where he worked?
I think he did. I'm not going to say it because I don't want to like fucking dox anyone or anything like that. But I think he's relatively a local boy. I think.
It's like
shit. Okay, Kobe wins. What about for Australia? I'm from there. Wait, what time is it in Australia right now? Are they like a day ahead or a day behind or like?
Aren't they? Wouldn't it be 6 a.m.? I don't know. Depends where in Australia.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Oh, okay. There we go. Yeah.
So yeah, local.
Oh, not too far.
Well.
Homegrown. Yeah. But anyway, we're going to round it off there. This has been awesome tonight. Oh, hang on. How could I be so rude as to sign off? When we get bath time in, big up the lads.
Should we just do the review again?
And we've got Corby as well. Oh, man. All local boys.
Wait, where's Corby?
Corby's in Northampton.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
I've got a mate from Northampton who lives in Corby.
I thought Corby was down south. Well, you learn something new every day.
It is south to me, isn't it? Northampton. The irony of that statement, but like...
I thought it was down south, like proper like London. I thought that's what Corby was.
Nah.
I don't know. I was wrong.
Oh shit! Everyone's connected. Right, we're gonna have to do like a meetup in Corby or something, aren't we? We're gonna have to do a fucking meetup at some point. This is gonna have to happen now.
Corby. I've never been to Corby. I didn't even know where Corby was until this second. So
You put me on the spot with that. You're like, I don't even. Where is Corby? I was like, I've heard of it. Where is it? Northampton, I think. This is a general area.
See, the thing is, well, I move about too much that even if people knew where I was from, it wouldn't make a difference because I'd be somewhere different in the next month.
Mm-hmm. SeaWorld Man says apparently Australia is half a day ahead. There you go.
So that would make it. Wait, hang on a minute. It's not 6 p.m. What am I talking about? That was a weird brain moment. I thought it was 6 p.m. here. Wow. What time is it? 11. Yes.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah,
right.
It
would be. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, it's 11 here. So there it would be 5.
Bath time says
today is 12 hours. So yeah, it will be 11 a.m. There you go. Don't know why that took me so long.
Bath time says, wait, where's Chris from? I'm not going to give my exact location away.
In Scotland. Just go a little bit south and keep going. At some point, in that country that's south of Scotland, it's in there.
I will say I'm not far from Birmingham. I think that's fair. That's sort of like the main...
Yeah, you're at that place that had a terrorist attack not long ago. Did I?
Bit of a drive out of Birmingham. I'm from there. Sort of from like smack bang in the middle. But yeah, that's me. Right then, we are going to round it off. So... if you have seen Wicked, please share your thoughts on Wicked. Let us know what you think of it. Are you excited for Wicked Part 2? Have you seen the musical? Anything related to Wizard of Oz would be really cool to have a conversation with you guys. As I say, we've had more of a turnout with this Wizard of Oz retrospective than I ever thought we would. So thank you to everyone who's tuned in. Thank you to our new subscribers today. And once again, just, like the old guard of the channel. We've got SeaWorld Man. We've got Carl. We've got Bath Time. Always a pleasure. Nah, not part of the Corby gang, I'm afraid. I've got a mate who's part of the Corby gang, so it's dead easy to head that way.
Isn't that Milton Keynes?
What?
That's his Snowdome, isn't that Milton Keynes?
Snowdome. Let's live near a Snowdome.
I thought there was one Snowdome, the Snowdome, and that was in Milton Keynes.
Maybe.
That's what I thought. I don't know.
Are we trying not to like pinpoint our location right now?
No, I just genuinely thought there was the Snowdome and that was somewhere in Milton Keynes. That's what I thought.
Bath Time's pretty close to the money. I'll just say that. He's pretty close.
I genuinely thought there was only one Snowdome. Yeah, I don't know. I thought the Snowdome was called the Snowdome. That's what I thought it was, and it was in Milton Keynes. But apparently, there's more than one.
Or is this like Batman and the Batman? So you got Snowdome and the Snowdome.
I don't know, but I genuinely thought there was only one in existence. That's what I thought it was. Like the Millennium Stadium, I thought it was like that. Because I went to see Toy Story on Ice there. So it's ice related, I don't know.
I saw that in Birmingham. I think that was like the NEC or whatever it was, or the NIA.
The year 2000. Or 99 or whatever.
It would have been. It would have been. Yeah. Jesus.
And then when you get older, you think, why did they do that?
Yeah.
Why did we suddenly go, let's put these characters on ice?
On ice, yeah. Why not?
Like, we don't just need actors, we need ice skaters. Like, who thought that was a good idea?
But you know what? Toy Story on Ice will probably still be better than Toy Story 5.
Toy Story 5 looks better than 4, though.
There's different degrees, isn't it? It's just...
Yeah.
Have you been to the Black Country Museum? What a mental day out that was. That used to be our school trip every single year.
Isn't that the place that smells really funny?
Well, you know, you got like a lot of blacksmith there. There's a lot of coal, a lot of steam, engine kind of stuff.
Because I went somewhere with a school once when I was in school. This wasn't just I just didn't just go out on a day out with the school. We went into like a classroom as well, and they did like what it was like in an old,
like the old school with a chalkboard and yeah. I think I was there too.
Yeah,
I remember we made a brick, or we saw a brick being made in like the furnace and whatnot. And there's also an absolutely fucking banging chip shop there that does orange chips. The queue is round the block, but they're really good. If you can make the time, and I don't even know, they're probably like over 20 quid now for like a cone of chips or something, but really, really good. Toy Story 4. Carl says Toy Story 4 is pretty much non-canon now, with Toy Story 5 coming back and Woody is there. Yeah, somehow Woody has returned through dark science and cloning, but
yeah. Do you know what? Imagine they go down that, well, not that particular route, but it's a new Woody, a new Woody toy. I'll be like, for fuck's sake. I mean, fair enough. We knew it was going to be shit anyway. Let's go.
Jesus.
Imagine.
Here's the thing, right? If Toy Story 5 is really good, and I'm talking on par with like Toy Story 3 at the very least, and there's no explanation, I would quite happily say goodbye to Toy Story 4. Welcome Toy Story 5 as Toy Story 4, but then it would piss me off that there's a 5 there, which acknowledges that somewhere there is a 4.
The story ended, and it was like, but that's why have we done? I wouldn't be able to do that. It couldn't be done.
Have you seen the absolute idiots online that are trying to headcanon this? Because some people are saying, well, how come Woody's here? Because he stayed with Bo Peep, and like some people were replying saying like, oh, well, this is set before number 4. I'm like, they literally show Forky and his girlfriend in the fucking trailer. Like, how is this set before Toy Story 4?
Is she called Forkette? Is that like a thing?
I'm not sure.
That's better being the name now,
though. Yeah. Kobe Wiggle says, I love Toy Story. We do too. Toy Story 4 was pointless. Yeah, we had fucking Xena Warrior Princess Bo Peep as well. Remember in Toy Story, I don't want to like derail this to a Toy Story thing because we need to sign off. We're coming up to 2 hours anyway. But you remember that like heartbreaking moment in Toy Story 3 where you're kind of aware that not all of the toys from the previous 2 films are there. Like you're like, where's Wheezy? Where's Lenny? Stuff like that. I'm not seeing Bo Peep. And he says, you know, like we've lost a few people over the years, and then Rex just like cuts him off and says, even Bo Peep. And Woody's voice cracks, and he's like, yeah, even Bo. And like Woody's crying, and I'm crying, and I'm an emotional wreck from like the first frame of that movie all the way through to the end. And I thought it shows the distance of time, the losses, the goodbyes that those toys have had to say.
They fucked it all up.
And they fucked it all up. Because she drives around in like a remote control skunk, and she's like awesome and like an action heroine now. And I'm just, what are we doing? Oh, but anyway, the villains were kind of creepy in Toy Story 4. I'll give it that. Gabby Doll and the Bensons.
He was a better villain.
I do like the Shining reference in that film. We got these really creepy ventriloquist dummies, and they've just got like that.
Is that what are they going to do? 4, 5, and 6, and they're all going to have Stephen King references instead of Star Wars references.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, that's true. I was trying to see if we could think of a reference for Toy Story 4. The thing is, would you go Phantom Menace or would you go sequel trilogy now with it?
No, you'd have to do prequel. I can't acknowledge. You'd have to do prequel trilogy.
I feel like Toy Story 4 is closer to The Force Awakens, though.
You know what
it's
they
a
should have
completely
done?
pointless continuation that
They
shouldn't have
should
happened.
have. What they should have done was in Toy Story 4 at the end of it, because then Woody's like, I'm going to leave. They should have done a fucking Qui-Gon Jinn like funeral and like burnt his body and everyone just watched. That's what they should have done with 4. And then 5 can come in with some weird Attack of the Clones reference. That's what they should do. No, the weird Attack of the Clones reference was they're just going to completely, because they already fuck with Buzz. They're going to completely emasculate him. They're going to have him like long over Jesse, and it's going to have some weird like him going, I don't like sand. That's what they should do. Weird...
shit! Though we got Lightyear, didn't we? That came out after Toy Story 4. So are we counting that as sort of like the unofficial Toy Story 4.5? Would that get a Star Wars reference as well? So would Toy Story 4 be Phantom Menace?
Reference is what that movie did.
Lightyear would be Attack of the Clones then, and then Toy Story 5 is going to be Revenge of the Sith. Is that what we're doing? Is that what we're saying?
I mean, it already fucked with it because Toy Story 2 had a Star Wars reference, and Lightyear fucked with that Star Wars reference. And I was like, it had a thing, it had a moment where it like mentions it, but then it messes with the whole thing, and you're like, why did we do this?
Bath Time says, wasn't Lightyear the film the toy was based off, so in its universe? Yeah, I think they ran with that. Do they still go with that concept? I still haven't seen Lightyear yet.
It opens with a whole, it opens with like text saying, this is the movie Andy watched as a kid, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, it opens with that. But wasn't the Lightyear fucking TV series supposed to be that?
Yeah, that was like Star Command, wasn't it? That was
good, though. The Lightyear TV series was fun.
It's just such a weird idea for a film, Lightyear. It was just, why are we doing this?
I know. Remember the hot alien, the blue one?
No.
Then you had the fat alien, and then you had the little robot.
I don't think I ever watched the show. I watched the movie that came out, and I'm guessing that was probably just like a couple of pilot episodes sort of stitched together, wasn't it?
Yeah,
maybe.
But yeah, the series was cool. The series was fun. Zurg was an actual character in it, and that was cool.
And then they mess with Zurg in the new film, don't they? Like they change his design, or
they do. That's
the thing. But if you were doing toys of these, if this is like a film that Andy watched, if you're doing toys of that, why don't the toys look like anything like the actual?
Did you see the toys they did of Lightyear?
I don't think so. No, I think I missed out on that.
They released toys based on the characters in Lightyear. So in the design of Zurg and Buzz in Lightyear as toys, but we already had toys of them. That was the whole point. Yeah. But these are toys of these characters that are characters of toys that look nothing like the toys. It was like, what? Like, what are we doing?
I'm a toy who thinks he's a toy playing another toy.
That's basically what it was. It was fucking diabolical. It was just weird, and they look like cheap Wish. It literally looks like Buzz Lightyear from Wish that you pick up and go, it's not really right.
Got Robin Wild, who says, honestly, I refuse to watch this movie. The stage play was the Oh, okay. We're going back to Wicked with this one. We've gone on like a massive tangent. We've covered Star Wars. We've covered fucking Toy Story. So this is about Wicked. Honestly, I refuse to watch this movie. The stage play was the highlight of my 17th year, and no movie can replace the energy. Yeah, I don't even know if it's meant to. I think it's probably just like a supplementary thing. But I get it. If you're really attached to something, you don't want to see like another adaptation of it, that's totally fine. For what it's worth, I thought it was like a good movie, but again, I don't have that frame of reference having not seen the musical. So maybe if I had as much attachment to the musical as you do, I'd probably feel exactly the same way. And I have felt that way before with stuff where you just see an adaptation, it's just like, oh, that's just missed the mark. Well, I get it with every single Disney film.
Robin's from America. There you go.
Yeah, so we got UK, we got Australia, we've got the US. We're going international, mate. We're conquering the world.
Missouri, like I thought of Carl. Maybe that's the thing. Maybe she's from Missouri and works on a farm. I don't know.
Robin, are you from Missouri? And do you live on a farm? Yeah, Corby gang.
Do you know what? No, in America, there's probably a place in America called Corby. Like,
Yeah, probably. There are a lot of similar names, aren't they? But Corby boys, there you go, Corby gang. We got to all wear like matching shirts, like the In-Betweeners or something. It's from Ohio. There we go.
I'm trying to pinpoint where Missouri is. I know where Ohio is.
Oh, my geography is terrible with the
Opposite
US.
ends of the country. Missouri's down there. I'm trying to. Yeah, I know where Ohio is.
I can just.
Yeah.
What's that Animaniac song where it goes through all the states?
Yeah, I know, but I don't know that one as well as the country one.
United States, Canada, Mexico, Panama. I remember that one. I remember just having that as like a random summer project for myself. I was bored and I was like, you know what? I'm going to memorize this song.
Go memorize every country in the world.
Yeah. Right. Okay. I think we'll probably round it off there. We're coming up to like a neat 2 hours. This has been awesome. Had a huge turnout tonight. This is unheard of on the channel, but I appreciate all you guys. Thank you so much. Worldwide, Australia, Corby, it's its own place, it's its own country. Got Ohio. Thank you to everyone who's tuned in. This has been great. So we'll be back on Wednesday for Studio Ghibli, but if Studio Ghibli isn't your bag, we'll be back next Monday at the slightly earlier time of 7 p.m. fresh out the cinema.
You know what I've just thought? Ohio is like waving to a dead body that's looking the other way, because you think you see someone, you go, oh, and then you go, hi, and then they turn around, you see that they're dead, and you go, oh, again.
That made sense in my mind for a second. Right. Okay. Have a good one, guys. Good morning, good afternoon, nighttime, wherever you're at from the world. And we'll see you on
No, it's the Truman Show. Good afternoon, good evening, good night. There you go. It's the thing. See?